Hey there guys, what is going on? We are having a final last hurrah for the Bruen MK9, which, as I saw on Twitter very recently, is on the chopping block for getting nerfed in the next balance patch. They did say another balance patch was coming in the next update, and we can only assume that the broken weapons are going to get looked at. So your FALs, your Bruen MK9s are going to get looked at very, very soon here. So final last hurrah with this particular class setup. This is a fantastic option in multiplayer with the right attachments, and even in Warzone, super strong. One of the best Warzone weapons for sure right now. Just before we do get into talking about this broken Bruen MK9 class setup here, let's try and get this one to 25 likes. Just loving all the support recently. I really appreciate that. A couple of videos did pop off, doing very well at the moment, so I do appreciate it. Of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on if you have not already done so. I do appreciate it, and let's just get straight into our class setup here. So Bruen MK9, as of course, one of those weapons that's always going to be on the chopping block for those nerfs because it is too powerful at the moment. Did see that on Twitter. But starting us off here with this class, we're looking at the sidearm perks and grenade choices. Akimbo X16 at the moment, one of the best options for those close quarters pistols. Monolithic suppressor, Singard armed advantage barrel, 5mm laser, lightweight trigger, of course, for that fast fire rate, and of course that Akimbo option. You pull these out on anybody who does get too close and you just blast them away. Very strong here. EOD, Ghost, and Tracker, very standard perks. EOD for that explosive resistance. Lots of people are using sort of proximity mines and claymores on these new maps. Get control of the high areas of the maps, there's power positions, so EOD is very strong for countering that. Ghost again for staying off of those UAVs. Loads of people run UAV to sort of learn new maps, learn where people move and stuff like that. So very important to stay off those UAVs at the moment. And of course, Tracker, seeing those enemy footprints is a big bonus here. Lethal C4, very strong for that extra killing power and that extra piece of useful utility for that little smoke cloud. And tactical stim shot, extra chance per life, very strong here. Of course, Bruen MK9 class setup that we got going on here. This particular variant is of course very strong in regular multiplayer. Getting those sights up nice and quickly with our variety of aim down sight speed attachments combined with a decent amount of recoil control and the regular sort of damage range that you would get from an LMG. So we'll start off with our barrel here in the XRK Horizon 23-inch for that damage range, bullet velocity. We can of course go a little bit bigger, but I feel like this does a decent enough job of getting our shots on target at that extra little bit of damage range. Very strong here. Next, the tac laser, getting those aim down sight speeds up, getting that shots down range, very strong here, and it does combine with our other attachments to make us very quick on the aim down sight, including the no stock here for that movement speed. Again, aim down sight speed, very powerful here. I think we do get a little bit of a bonus to our aim walking movement speed as well, which is very powerful. Of course, we do lose a little bit of recoil control with this, but the natural recoil control that we do get from this particular weapon is very strong. Stipple grip tape, again, of course, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed. You know what this does. You know we want this on pretty much every weapon. And lastly, the real star of the show here is of course the 60 round mags for that aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and a detachable magazine with a reload of about 1.8 seconds, which is dumb. Very strong on an LMG here to make it a little bit more mobile. This is basically just a slightly slower assault rifle, like very good damage range, very good accuracy, very powerful weapon in my opinion. We're going to jump into some gameplay here with this particular class. Like, this is probably going to be the last hurrah with the MK9 Bruen, the Bruen MK9. I always get those two mixed up. So if you do want to use this just before it does get nerfed, make sure you go test it out right now. Alrighty, my dudes, we are probably taking a look at what will probably be the final ride of the MK9 Bruen, the Bruen MK9. I can never remember which order to say that in, but people have been complaining about this weapon because it is very powerful, particularly in Warzone. It's one of those things where you slap on the right set of attachments and people just wonder how they died so quickly. Like, that's typically the problem with this particular weapon is you just die very quickly, and I thought with a relatively high ammo count as well as decent recoil, like that's why you use LMGs. Like, you typically have to sacrifice the movement speed and the aim down sight speed and the quickness for having great damage, great sort of recoil control, being able to very easily hit most of our shots. And when you sort of get that, like, you have to worry about that particular stat that we do get from the 60 round mags and like the no stock. Like, aim down sight speed and sort of movement speed are not a problem at all here. Like, there's a no, he left. See, like, that's just too much. That is simply the best. No. What is that dude up to? Anyway, as I was saying, like, the Bruen MK9 is just simply too much. Like, at the moment, it's just, it kills too quickly, you move around too quickly, you aim down sights relatively quickly depending on which attachments you use. It's just a bit much. And it's just a bit much, especially in Warzone where people leave themselves off and wondering why they died so quickly. Like, oh god, we're in trouble here. I mean, if this was an assault rifle, this would be balanced basically perfectly. Nah, you always got to pre-fire the re-peak, boys. Can we actually see under this truck here? We can. Please. Silly. Oh, come on, dude. But yeah, man, it's too much. It's too much, especially... Oh, come on. Okay, so moving across the map, we're in a little bit of danger here. Of course, this weapon, as it is an LMG, is not super strong when we do have to reposition and change our spots and stuff like that. There's a man coming out of there. But as the recoil and the fast fire rate does allow us to get a pretty easy kill on him. He's going to be another one just there. Again, we can just do work with this. Like, it's just great. It's just so strong. I love it. And that's why it's getting nerfed. Like, it's just simply a little bit much. Like, it is... Man, the flanks. I cannot handle the flanks at the moment. Nobody watching my back. Hardpoint has people running around the map the entire time. Like... I don't know, somewhere along the line, I think the balancing ropes just got mixed up and people start using things and it's like, oh, that's actually like stupid strong. Basically just an assault rifle with a big old clip that is slightly slower than usual. Which is still very strong. Very strong option here. Like, the 60 round mags are probably the best overall attachment in the game. Like, probably just based on the amount of stats we actually get, it's just probably the best overall attachment. Let's go on a big flank here. Big old flank. Let's do what everybody else was doing to us. No. Coming closer? No, you ran away. Coward dog. Come here. God, that is frustrating. And the headquarters, or hardpoint rather, moved very far away, so our flank is kind of ruined here. Get that reload up, come around the back side. Look at those boys up there. The iron sights on this can be a little bit of a problem sometimes. They are kind of obtrusive, like they do get in the way sometimes. And that's why a lot of people, if they are running this in Warzone, they typically like use the VLK 3x optic, and that's another option that you can do. It does make it a little bit slower, and that's why it probably works a little bit better in Warzone than it does in regular multiplayer. Just because the times to kill are a little bit slower, you've got a little bit more time to aim and so on. It's just, it's a little bit easier to get away with an LMG in Warzone than it is in regular multiplayer, but it's still very powerful here. Like, you get the same damage, you get the same sort of like decent recoil control that you would get from most weapons in the LMG category, and great fire rate, great damage. It's just a fun weapon to use, man. Come through here. This is not where I expected him to be. Silly man. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Oh god, that's so many. There's so many. Oh, I don't know how we're alive. I'm not even gonna lie for a second. Free fire the minecart. Nice. Continue our push. It's definitely gonna be somebody. Run. That's why we run EOD, guys. That is why. That is why we run EOD. Is he still there? Doesn't seem to be. No, we're going to stay inside for that one. Ooh. Come on. Really? Stop running away, you cowards. No. Everybody just kept running away from me. Alright, this game is about to wrap up here very shortly. I feel like we've done a decent amount of work here while still not being super great, but that's on me, not the class. This class is fantastic. And can of course be made even better with different attachments depending on how you do want to play your game. Like that's up to you, of course. You can get that VLK optic, which is again very, very strong, particularly in Warzone, and we'll talk about that more in just a second. Alrighty guys, what do we think of our broken Bruen MK9 class? Well, again, one of those things, same with the FAL, if something is on the chopping block for some nerfs, well, it's clearly too powerful. Something has to go here. Like, it's either got to be a rate of fire change, probably a damage range change, if anything, maybe adding a little bit more recoil, but at the moment, particularly in Warzone especially, like, it's still a great weapon in regular multiplayer. You can, of course, kit this up to be very, very quick on the aim down sight, but especially in Warzone. So if we were looking to play this in Warzone, we'd probably drop that tac laser, get this monolithic suppressor, maybe drop like your no stock and add the 3 times, it's the VLK 3 times optic. And this got a setup here. We get a decent amount of aim down sight speed with these 2 attachments here, but man, like you just get those shots on target. And people often wonder to themselves how they got killed so quickly. Even with full armor, they just get shredded with this particular class. Like, it's one of those things that's always going to be great in pretty much every game mode until it gets nerfed. So if you do want to try this particular class setup out, do make sure you go and try it because it is going to get nerfed very, very soon, of course, as it is on the chopping block next in the upcoming patch. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate you stopping by and checking out this one. Let's try and get this one to, I don't know, like 25 likes or so, or whatever I said in the start of the video. I can honestly not remember. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button, those notifications turned on if you haven't already done so, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!